Wow, I can't get over how effective these lures are. It's got that triple rolling action, just like rolling shad, but the fish are much faster. These fish are in an aggressive mindset here, and they are just slamming. Wow.
This guy's full of energy.
Pretty active.
I'm going to turn him back towards you.
What a fight.
There he is.
Yeah.
Nice. Big fat fish. Holy smokes.
Hey guys, Cal Kellogg here. We were out in the FHS pontoon boat the other day at Cons Lake. I turned on the GoPro when we caught a fish and I forgot to turn it off. And I captured a pretty cool exchange between Wes Ward and I and our two passengers for the day, our two clients. You know, we catch a lot of fish out on the water, but these are instructional trips and we are there to answer questions, give you theory, give you ideas, refine your approach so when you go out on your own, you could catch just as many fish as we do. The audio is going to be hard to hear in places in this upcoming segment, but watch it through to the end. We're going to talk about downriggers, divers, lead core, trolling weights, and more. These are the kind of exchanges that we have out on the FHS pontoon boat. If you want to get in on that action, go on over to fishhuntshoot.com, book a trip of your own. Until then, enjoy this exchange, and again, please excuse the poor audio. We didn't know we were being filmed. I'm Cal Kellogg. Catch you later. Collins Lake, baby.
Yeah.
What a beautiful fish. Nice. Got him right in the corner of the mouth. Very good.
I was on the worm too. Huh?
Yeah.
Nice fish.
So you went through both gills and you just rip out, or
Yeah,
just feeling for something? Or?
Just hook it
like
behind the
popping a
gills
rubber
and
band.
pop them out.
Yeah. And his heart's going to be in there beating for a while, and it's going to pump most of the blood out. And then up underneath in the cavity, like his kidney cavity, it'll coagulate in there what's left, and we'll just splooge it out like toothpaste.
So they don't have blood pressure like us. So their blood it's pumped up to the top of their body, and that gravity system. So it accumulates along the spine.
Gotta blow the horn. Sure. It took a lot of talking about Leadcore, and now we're starting to see like a lot of people are migrating towards it because it's way easier than a downrigger in a lot of respects.
Cheaper too.
yeah, no hardware investment.
Outfishes a downrigger so many days when the fish are like 10 to 15 feet deep. So many days.
There's Cal and I have been talking about it for a long time. We don't really talk about it on camera. But there's some property of Leadcore that we don't totally understand, but something to do with how it vibrates through the water naturally attracts fish to the like equivalent of like an E-chip, which is the little microchip they add to Dodgers and flashers that sends out that pulse. Yeah. Same thing's happening there because it's that literally 4 to 1 that rod on every other rod in the boat, and we fish every day.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever one you put right here, Leadcore, it just outfishes everything else all day, every day.
Now, when you're trolling with like the flies and the worms and stuff, what controls the depth on those?
Well,
Leadcore, that's going to be pretty much right on the surface.
That's got little signal.
so we're running 3 different depth mechanisms here. One of them, the surface, the top line.
Right.
This one, we have one of those in line.
Okay.
In front of the Dodger. Yeah, that one has Dodger on it. And then the fly run.
A fly, yeah.
Is in front of the bait, right?
Yeah.
So that's your weight. So it doesn't really matter how far you scope it out.
Do you ever not put a weight on there?
just top line, I wouldn't do it with the fly. You'd have to put it out like 12 million miles and it would just keep popping the surface, right?
We want to go under.
So this keeps it's probably less than a foot deep.
Those are like 3/8 or something? Or
They're
quarter?
grams. That's 15 grams.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, 20 grams. We have a whole set. So
Yeah, quarter ounce.
So
Not
at
much.
200 feet, it's like 6 inches down.
Just enough to get it under.
You got to keep the little wiggle disc under the water. Remember, it moves around a little bit.
What if it was
so-
like just a Castmaster? Is that enough weight?
Oh yeah, Castmaster.
Yes,
no, you don't even need a weight. On
Yeah, you just scope it out.
It'll be right under.
So you're putting the
chop.
weight on like the flies or a worm.
So what are you using to get 6 feet deep?
So Leadcore.
That's
One color of Leadcore is a roughly 6 feet of depth.
okay.
Okay, so these
At what
rods.
speed?
Two. Everything's
Alright,
based on
okay.
2. So we've been running 1/8 to 2 all day long. So
If you were going 1, how much deeper will it go?
not a whole lot, a little bit, but not a whole
Inches?
lot.
1 foot maybe?
Maybe
or?
a foot.
Okay.
10%. 6 feet.
What if
to
you were
6
going like
inches.
3.8 or 4 miles per hour?
Then
Oh,
it's
way shallower.
gonna run up a lot because of the drag of the line in the
Yeah,
water.
Okay.
But that's leaded line. There's lead in the line.
Gotcha.
3
Okay.
colors of lead is 2 ounces, so that's like 4 of those sinkers,
And this
basically.
one here is going to be that downward take down. Even though I'm
Right.
going to go shallow with this one, I
And
just want
then-
to go shallow, catching fish shallow, and
Right.
I want to,
And then the
Okay.
Just want
downrigger.
another ride
So
in that depth.
if you're kayaking, I use this setup a lot with a lot of our kayak guys because you can just put a 1 ounce weight on it, tell them to scope it out 125,
Yeah.
you know, and they're kayaking, so you're speeding up and slowing down constantly.
Right. Right.
And you can control the setbacks on it. And we can put this on a spinning rod if someone's not. A lot of guys have never used trolling gear before, so in the kayaks, I'll just give them a spinning rod with that on it. It works fine.
And like Eagle Lake the other day, the bite was at 12 feet. It's really important. And my cousin was using the weights, and it took him a little while to start getting hit to figure out how much line to let out with this, how much weight to get to that depth.
You basically just keep giving it 25-foot increments
But the
until you
fish told
get
you right away,
bit,
yeah.
and then you know where you're at. 174, that's my number.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then with this stuff, you just can't stop. If you stop moving forward, that weight's in the entire line. It'll just swing down and just coil on itself. Where this will do the same thing way back there, but it's like a bass rig on the bottom. You can pop it up pretty easy. This stuff, the line is the weight. There's no getting it back if it starts coiling on itself on the bottom. It'll just come up a big giant mess, and we got to break it off.
So this is 7 feet. It's reading 4 when it went in there. It says 11 now, so we know it's down 7.
If you didn't have downriggers, can you put like a weighted trolling swivel on the Leadcore or
His dad does it, yes.
dipsy diver?
Dipsy diver, yeah.
That's the other way you could get down without a leg.
What are the planer boards doing?
They get your bait out there.
Okay.
They walk it away from the boat.
We use it occasionally. It works great. With this light gear, it'll pull 30 feet down, like
Easy.
You put that
31
on
feet
a
off the
Leadcore
boat.
line?
Not on Leadcore,
Oh.
on that.
On a regular line.
You gotta have a little bit
You have a
beefier
stouter
gear.
rod though.
Yeah.
These rods work great if you
Can you
spool
put
it just
regular
with
line
braid.
on that and then use the dipsy diver?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Because then it would have enough backbone.
Then
and
you have
shit?
plenty. They'd be ideal for that.
Braid.
Right.
You want braid on there.
Yeah.
Braid to the
Okay.
release.
Braid to the release. Yeah.
And then a 6-foot leader.
This one's the aggressive one. The smaller ones are a little
Yeah.
bit more forgiving.
That
This
one
thing will
go
run
down,
straight
it'll run down to 80. And you got this screw here. If it's on 0, it runs straight. But if you start turning, there's a lead weight in there. You can make it plane
You
out
can
to the
keel
side, out
like
and
10
out.
degrees out. So
okay.
you lose a little depth when you do that.
Sometimes even at Shasta where you're fishing like 60 feet, sometimes this outfishes the downrigger. And they come in different colors. These attract fish.
And that's way better than like, what's the other one? It looks like a little missile or
The
something.
little diver thing.
Okay, so those
The jet drive diver.
Yeah, jet something.
those didn't have a release on them, but the Dreamweaver company is now making those with that same trigger right there, so they're triggerable.
Okay.
When they weren't
Oh,
triggerable,
and
I use them in
lets it
rivers.
go up
Yes.
straight instead of.
Yeah, so how this works is, so your main line hook's here, your leader's back here, it's in this position, it's diving, you get a fish back here, grabs your bait, pulls, now it's not diving anymore.
It's just weight
Your
in the middle of the
tension
line.
adjustment is right there, and they work better once they've been broken in a little bit, and you'll get a nice crisp release, and then no more resistance from that thing. So they work.
Planer boards, you see them a lot. You see them at Comanche, or do you guys? There's always someone that runs them somewhere. That gets our spread way out.
Okay.
So like if
Away
we
from
want to
the
line
boat.
20 feet over there, that's only 6 feet deep, so the boat can be in 40 feet of water still running this gear, but we want to run 3 feet off the shore.
Yeah.
It allows you to scope it out over there.
Okay.
It's not super complicated. There's a lot of moving parts involved, like, you know, and we have 8-foot telescoping booms on the Downriggers, so if we wanted to spread out as far as the wingspan would,
Oh, these got
it's 25 feet, you know, of like spread from one downrigger to the other. So
But
yeah, it's
like,
3 pieces
you know,
of telescope, six
like,
and a half.
Like Monday, where my wife caught those fish. Now I could see a side plan working over there and put a worm or something behind it, and then you could stay offshore and you could swim it right up there, right to
Yeah.
the bank. You know?
Oh, that's so you don't have your boat, I guess.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, that's the
exactly.
whole
You can
idea,
stay
you know?
out.
Oh, okay.
You're not scaring the fish.
But it
I thought
has
was for, like, trying
multiple.
to spread them out and not tangle it or something.
That too, but
Okay.
it's to get it out from under your footprint.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
A traditional way of doing it though, you have a mast that has a line that runs out to each planer board, and you clip your line on, and the line slides down it like on a downrigger release. So you got to have a stack of these downrigger releases in here to keep feeding it.
So it's a big board. You never reel it in until we're done fishing for the day. It's out there.
It's just
And
out there.
You're letting your lines
Yeah.
go down. You got a whole bunch of releases hanging from it.
Right. Have a mast in the middle of the boat that feeds both of them.
Yeah.
A lot of guys use like their ski pole or whatever on a, you know.
Look at that drone. That's a big ass.
That thing's huge, huh?
That's like the
Helicopter
FBI one.